Good morning, everyone, and welcome to OHR In Conversation with, as we celebrate and honor Black History Month, highlighting one of the historic areas of Prince George's County. The Office of Human Rights is Prince George's County's civil and human rights education and enforcement agency. We investigate complaints of discrimination, combat human trafficking, ensure equitable access for all people to county government services in the language of their preference, and provide opportunities for learning and engagement on areas of social justice importance. My name is Kyla Hannington, and I'm the Public Outreach and Engagement Division Manager for the Office of Human Rights, and with me is Tiana Davis, the Outreach Specialist with the office. OHR In Conversation with is our opportunity to highlight some of the incredible civil rights and social justice people, places, and spaces in Prince George's County. And we are thrilled to welcome today Doris Sarumi, Town Manager for the fascinating and historic Fairmount Heights. Welcome, Doris. It is wonderful to have you with us today.
Well, I'm delighted, and thank you for inviting me. I'm always excited to share with you the history and the significance of our historic Fairmount Heights. So I'm going to be reading for you sections of if you can see this, of the Fairmount Heights publication that was printed by the Prince George's County Department of, I think, Planning. I'm not so sure how many years ago, but the history remains. In the late 19th century, the area that would become Fairmount Heights was comprised of several small farms. These were purchased and consolidated by land speculators in the first decade of the 20th century. Fairmount Heights contains 6 subdivision plats between 1900 and 1923 by different developers. The first plat was in Fairmount Heights was in 1900 by Robinson White and Allen Clark, two attorneys and developers from Washington, D.C. The initial platting contained approximately 50 acres. They were divided into lots, typically measured 25 feet by 125 feet. White and Clark encouraged African Americans to purchase property, and the subdivision became one of the first planned communities for Black communities in the country. White and Clark sold the lots at affordable prices, making homeownership attainable for many. The earliest dwellings were wood frame construction and of modest size. However, several substantial houses were also built. Early on, the neighborhood was home of several prominent African Americans, including William Sidney Pittman, a noted architect and son in law of Booker T. Washington. Pittman took an interest in the development of his own neighborhood. He then formed the Fairmount Heights Improvement Company, whose purpose was to construct a social center for the community. Pittman had Charity Hall built, and it was used for several social events, such as a church and as the community first school. In 1908, the Washington Baltimore Annapolis Electric Railroad opened and provided easy access for Washington, D.C. commuters. Residents of Fairmount Heights and the neighboring community, Gregory Station, located in Seat Pleasant, because of the early success of Fairmount Heights and new transportation options available nearby, several new subdivisions were planted along adjacent to it. Waterford, a small subdivision in the northeast corner of Fairmount Heights, was platted by J.D. O'Mara in 1907. If you come down to come to Chesapeake Beach and you will see the J.D. O'Mara station, which they have built a monument to that station. Mount Weisner was platted by the Weisner family in 1909 and featured lots approximately a little larger, 50 by 125 feet. In 1910, Elizabeth Haynes plotted North Fairmount Heights which was approximately 15 acres of land. The Salas family platted West Fairmount Heights, also known as Bryn Mawr, is where today's townhouses are. And 1911, around that time, they instead of their family farmland. That basically highlights the history of Fairmont Heights, which again is exciting. It is deeply embedded in the history of Prince George's County of Maryland, and we hope nationwide. We invite all who may be interested to come in to go on a historic tour. We have approximately 19 historic houses, and we call that the African American Historic Trail.
So thank you so much. I got to talk. Let's talk more about the African American Historic Trail. So I just as a little bit of background for people watching. Our office has been very lucky to be connected with Doris Sarumi and Fairmont Heights for maybe 8 years. Doris, it's been we're trying to remember how long it's been, but we've been
Approximately 8 years.
Yeah, it's been awesome. And one of the things that has been so engaging for me in connecting with the city and with you is your joy, your passion. Like I gotta tell everybody to like get down to Fairmont Heights and find Doris and like go on a tour with you because it's amazing. Well, let's talk about the African American Historic Tour. Like, can you talk to us about some of your favorite spaces?
Yes. As stated, there are not 19 historic buildings and houses along the trail. And the first one I want to talk about is the Fairmont Heights Elementary School, and it's located at 737 61st Avenue. It was built in 1912. The Fairmont Heights Elementary School is one of the largest buildings in the community. Before its construction, classes were held in nearby Charity Hall, and we're going to talk about that too. But in early 1911, a group of residents approached the board of school commissioners and requested that an elementary school be built. The board agreed, and a building committee was formed, which included William Sidney Pittman, who was also appointed as the architect. In 1911, that happened in 1911, the board ordered that the school be erected in accordance with Pittman's plans and specifications. A few months later, the board purchased four and improved lots at the corner of, it was then called Chapel Road, but it's now 61st Avenue and Addison Road. The school was constructed and ready to open for June 1912. Also, along the trail, you're going to find, and this is at 5907 K Street, it's the Samuel Hargrove House. And I was fascinated by the structure of this brick building. The
Okay,
Hargrove
sorry,
House was built,
Doris. I'm so sorry. I didn't
yeah,
hear what the house name was. Can you say it again? What is the house that you're highlighting now?
okay, I'm highlighting Samuel Hargrove House. And
All
it's
right, thank
at
you.
5907. Mhm. It's at 5907 K Street. Can you hear me?
Yep,
Can you hear
got
me?
that. Thank you. Yep, yep,
Oh,
great. Thank you. Keep going. Yeah, we can hear you.
okay.
You're good.
Okay, so okay, let me continue. The Hargrove House was built in the in North Fairmont Heights subdivision that was platted in 1910. It was built for, and probably at that time, a brick mason named Samuel Hargrove. It is an unusual dwelling form, and its molded brick detail, and possibly unique in Prince George's County. The Samuel Hargrove House is a brick town dwelling with unusual molded brick decorations. It is 2 stories high with a shallow hip roof and has a long, narrow floor plan, well suited for the lots of Fairmont Heights at that time. The main entrance to the house is on the second bay of the narrow north facade, and the remainder of the facade is highlighted by large um, platted windows, large plated windows. There is a wide belt course of links and bands on the first story. I truly invite you to come take a look at this unique building in terms of the bricklaying and the structure of this building. Samuel Hargrove was born in North Carolina in 1870. He was listed as a brick mason, which explains his ability to create and detail a work of art of the bricks that he certainly used to build the Hargrove house. I mentioned he was born in North Carolina. He was listed as a brick mason in the 1911 census. The year in which he and his wife purchased 4 lots in the nearly platted North Fairmount Heights subdivision. There was a small house on the property at that time, and it was not certain whether the house may be incorporated into the present brick structure. I have not seen any research to say that's true. The property was conveyed by Hargrove's son, Earl W. Hargrove, to Maggie Sims in 1929. Shortly thereafter, Sims conveyed the property to Virginia Cooper in 1931. Cooper sold the property in 1938 to Cornelius and Lillian R. Weeks. Members of the Weeks family have owned the property ever since then. Okay, another important building and structure along the trail is, of course, the William Sidney Pittman and Portia Pittman house.
Can I ask a question just really quick? I want to keep hearing from you, but I just for viewers, as they're thinking about, hey, I want to go see these buildings. Is the best way to do this just to like drive into Fairmount Heights and like slow down and like look for the signs within those historic signs, or is there like a way that they can get a sheet of paper that shows them where they can go?
Well, you can go to our website, www.fairmountheightsmd.gov, and you can download the trail. I think
Okay.
that's the best way. Yeah, I think that's the best way
All right.
versus driving in and trying to figure out what it is that you're saying. And then, of course,
Okay.
I'll leave my contact information. And as Ms. Harrington said, I'm always excited to talk about Fairmount Heights.
Okay, and I'm going to your website right now. I'm finding the historic places, and I'm going to put that link in the chat where people are watching. So I'm getting that in there right now. Go ahead, Doris. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but I was like, I'm sure people are like, okay, well, where is this building? How can I go see it? So thank you for that.
Okay. All right. So back to the William Sidney Pittman house. The Pittman house was designed and built as a family house by architect William Sidney Pittman in 1907, the year in which he married Portia, the daughter of his former mentor, Booker T. Washington Pittman. And they had attended Tuskegee Institute in Alabama and then received a degree in architecture and mechanical drawing. And I'm referring really back to Pittman, who had received his degree in architectural and mechanical drawing. And then he attended Drexel Institute in Philadelphia in 1900. He returned to Tuskegee to teach until 1905, in which time he opened his own architectural office in the Shaw neighborhood of Washington, D.C. After their marriage in 1907, the Pittman moved into the house that he had designed in the development suburb of Fairmount Heights. The house was known to the family as Little White Tops. Possibly the name was derived from the roof decorations that had long since, of course, disappeared. Of course, the property has now been torn down. Activity involved in the progress of this new community. Sidney Pittman established the Fairmount Heights Mutual Improvement Company. His wife, a professional musician, gave frequent piano recitals at their home. Were you able to locate that on our website?
So yes, I did. So it is in the chat, and I've put in so just to repeat what Doris said as well, if you go to fairmountheightsmd.gov, That takes you to the whole town of Fairmount Heights. I put links in the chat, but also if you go to that main webpage, you hit government. At the top, there's a banner. You click the government part and you scroll down and it says history and there's historic places. And I've also put that direct link in the chat. I'm going to put it on screen for you right now. So it's fairmountheightsmd.gov/150/historic-places. All right. Thank you so much, Doris.
Okay, let me continue. Another interesting house and property is that of James F. Armstrong. James F. Armstrong house, I'm sorry, exhibits typically and fine detail of a wraparound porch, which was prominent and projecting bay windows. The house was built for Armstrong, who, like many other early settlers in Fairmount Heights, was a graduate of Tuskegee Institute. And so, and later, and later attended Howard University Law School, graduating in 1904. In the following year, he purchased 3 lots in the original Fairmount Heights subdivision and had the house built. It remains in the ownership of his family for 90 years. James Armstrong House is a 2 1/2 story house of wood frame construction, with its principal facade exhibits gable roofs, which was typical in the type of house built in that period. The Armstrong House is a good example of late Victorian domestic architecture, and one of the handsome houses that was built early in the Fairmount Heights community. In 1911, James Armstrong was appointed as a member of the building committee for the proposed Fairmount Heights Elementary School, and a few years later was named director of manual training at the school. He also served in 1919 as the supervisor of colored schools in Prince George's County. He continued to be active in Fairmount Heights community affairs, serving as chairman of the Citizens Association and one of the first council members for the town of Fairmount Heights. Such a great history. Then people were very proud. They were very active in building upon what was already in place, building upon the town of Fairmount Heights.
I just wanted to ask you a question as you're talking about the history. One of the things we wanted to talk to you about, and when I've met with you, I'm always so excited about the incredibly rich history of Fairmount Heights. But we had the opportunity, myself and my colleague Jose had the opportunity to meet with you recently. And one of the things that we also heard you talk about was some of the new initiatives of Fairmount Heights, which are like fantastic. And I'm wondering if you can take a minute to talk to us about some of the new initiatives that is going on with Fairmount Heights so as again, for viewers, and we'll go back to the history, but like there's this incredible history there, but there's also really contemporary important initiatives underway in the city. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those?
Oh yes, and I'm very excited. And my background, believe it or not, is in urban planning. So I have such an excitement to be able to use. Often we go to college and we don't get to use what we learn, but I'm excited that I'm able to put into action much of what I have learned at the graduate and college level. So one of the newest initiatives for Fairmount Heights, it is the construction of the net zero housing. We have built on a particular lot, which was a historic site, which was the site of the first town hall. We have built 6 affordable housing units there. Net zero, as the name suggests, that the cost of the energy should be almost down to net zero. We are including solar panels on all 6 homes. And adjacent, we have created this beautiful, wonderful pocket park. The pocket park, we were able to include, we will include and install in the coming weeks a mural that will show the history of Fairmount Heights. And on that mural, we will include pictures of our first architect. We will have a picture of our first and one of our oldest living residents, Mrs. Graves. And then we will show our youth of today as how they would move forward in the building of Fairmount Heights. If you go to our website, you will see the construction, again, www.fairmountheightsmd.gov, and you will see on our webpage the construction of those 6 net zero housing units. 2 are already under contract, and the others are on the market for sale. I think that's one of the most innovative projects that we've done. We've already had visitors as far away as from Michigan to come to look at the model. We have had a visit from Secretary of Housing, Secretary Day, who came with a group and others to take a look at this model as to how we can turn the use of property owned by the town of Fairmount Heights and how we can construct affordable, decent, affordable housing units that people will be able to broaden their wealth, increase their wealth by being able to afford a home.
Yeah, and I really want to highlight that, like decent, affordable homes. These are beautiful homes. It's a beautiful lot. There's so much planning and thought that's gone into it. And am I right? And that there is also like some parameters for home buyers, that it's also trying to. It's not just that this project is net zero or close to net zero in terms of energy, but also am I right that there's some parameters about people who can purchase?
Yes, of course, again, affordable, and I think I just right that you must be fall within the income category by family size. And I'm sorry, I don't have that information available today, but your income should be within 80% of the median income. So you can have a household income up to $80,000 to purchase. So yeah, there are some parameters in terms of who can purchase. We were hoping to attract home buyers who could not otherwise afford housing on the open market.
That's awesome. Thank you. Sorry, Tiana, I saw you had something.
No, it's fine. I was wondering, what are some common misconceptions about Fairmont Heights that you'd love to clear up?
Hmm. I think one of the common misconceptions, though, of course, we're a historic Black community, but in the early development of Fairmont Heights, we had people who had come from Haiti. We had people who came who were Hispanic families who also dwelled in the town of Fairmont Heights, and so I think right now, 30% of our population is Hispanic. But then the other misconception, and when folks talk about people Hispanic, someone made a comment to me about those Spanish people, and I said, well, my grandson's name was Alexis Eduardo Clara. I said that you cannot draw those kind of conclusions about people, not unless you know the history, not unless you know the journey. So I think that's one of the things I would like to clear up. That we are a multicultural, multiracial community.
And can you talk a little bit more about your role as town manager? I know you spoke a little bit about your background in urban planning, but can you talk about, how urban planning got you to town manager and how you sort of use your background and your passion?
Let me see. That's a loaded question. Let me see if I can sort that out.
Uh-oh.
In terms of it's interesting how I became a town manager. When I first started my position, I was how should I say it? I was a agent and I managed some HUD properties. And the first HUD property that I managed was a public housing property that was in Glen Arden. And so from there, I looked at how early on that they used a small area to provide affordable housing, and escapes from my memory as to how many people actually live at the Glen Housing Authority. But I think that led me into becoming very interested in how we can develop and grow our communities. Often we overlook, right now I'm looking at, this is my concept, so this is not the mayor and council's concept, so let me make that clear. So right now, I'm hoping to work with parking planning to look at how we can rezone some of our lots. We have lots in the town, vacant lots that mostly privately owned, from the side, from, I think, 2,500 square feet up to 4,999 square feet, and it is sit vacant. So I would like to go for parking planning, and of course through the mayor and council to see if we can look at how we can do some rezoning and repurpose land use. So that way we can broaden the tax base. So I think we have about 22 to 20, I've got the exact number of lots that are vacant, but if we could build structures and make it easy for the owners of those lots to build housing and to broaden their wealth. So that's what I'm looking into now.
So I was looking on the historical marker database as you were discussing the various houses, and a lot of them look very modern, like still historic and a part of, Fairmount Heights, but like kept up well for them to be historical markers. So I was wondering, are some of them like privately owned but still have that historic designation, or are they all maintained by the city?
No, they're all privately owned. And I've worked with various resources and agencies in the county to make funding available that would allow them to make needed repairs and to make the homes energy efficient, new roofs, uh, new porches. So I've been able to work with other county agencies and resources to bring funding in for those homeowners.
So, Doris, can I get you to just move your camera up a little bit? Because we're not really seeing your face right now since it fell. So if you can just adjust so we can see, there you go. We can see your face. Awesome. Thank you very much. I mean, it's a great question. Oh, go ahead.
I said, now you can see my house.
Yeah, we do have a good view of your house now. Also, we're having a little trouble. I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Tiana, are you having that as well? I feel like we may just had a little problem, but talk to me, Doris. Hopefully we can get you back here. Are you talking?
Yeah, I did hear some static.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me okay, Doris?
No, I still hear static.
Yeah, it feels like just since the phone fell, we got a little static going on. But I really want to, we'll keep trying because I really want to be able to highlight you in Fairmount Heights more. I think you were going to say something before I got us off on a tangent about the contemporary things in Fairmount Heights, which I'm really glad we're talking about. You were going to talk about another historical site, and I wondered if you could just remind me. I feel like when we went on a tour, you had highlighted, was it the first African-American judge? Was that, am I misremembering? But I feel like there was somebody who you talked to us about who had been a judge.
Okay, let me see if I can find that.
Okay, so, and just for people listening, I know our audio is a little funny right now, but we hope you stick with us and we'll hope that it'll get cleared up.
Yeah, the static is, okay.
I'm wondering, Doris, it's actually pretty hard to hear you. So, and it just started. So, I'm just trying to think what we should do here. I'm sorry, I'm thinking live and on there. This is real. This is live theater, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes things happen. I think I was wondering if you left and came back, if that might reset the sound, Doris. let's try that, because we just can't actually really hear what you're saying. So if you pop out using that peach button and then pop back in. And so for people watching, just give us a second to get Doris and bring her back in and see if we can get better sound. So sorry, as you were waiting for her to come back, we do encourage you to go to fairmountheightsmd.gov. And it's really worth, as we said, you hit the government button. There's that link to the historic tour, so you can sort of self-drive it. You can walk around Fairmount Heights. These buildings are so cool. And the historic monuments, reading about the people who lived there, who built this town, and these incredible buildings is really a wonderful activity. We have Doris back. We're going to bring her in, and hopefully the sound will be okay. Hi, Doris.
I still got static. Is that
better? You do. It is actually better for us. How is it for you?
Still static. So it must be on my end.
Okay, well, we can hear you great now. So go ahead and talk to us, because we got great sound for us.
Okay. All right. I think we were asking, and I think I have the right house, Cornelius Fonville House. This was the Fonville House, and I'll get down to information about it in a minute. I want to tell you about the house. The Fonville House is a representative of the Foursquare house, popular in the early years of the century. Is one of the larger houses of the early building period in the community. It was built by Cornelius Fonville, who worked as a messenger for the Bureau of Engraving, and who settled in Fairmount Heights with his wife and family in the early years of the development. The Fonville House is a 2-story high hip roof floor plan. Okay, that's basically the house. In 1912, the Washington Washingtonian's principal African-American newspaper, reported it was a fine 8-room dwelling with cellular furnaces, all modern improvements. Fairmount Heights is on a boom. Fonville was active in the Citizens Association of Fairmount Heights. Maybe this is not the one. Let me say. Yeah, I think this was who we were talking about. Hold on, let me look at. Did we talk about the William Pinckney House?
Sorry,
Not
I was
yet. We
muted.
haven't talked about.
Sorry, I was talking to you, but I was muted. Sorry, Doris. No, we have not talked about the Pinckney House yet. That would be great.
Okay. Let me talk about. Yeah, this is interesting. The Pinckney House. William Pinckney House is located at 608 60th Place. The Pinckney House, the static is better. The Pinckney House is representative of the American Foursquare. It was a popular building. It was a popular building type during that era. It was wider than the standard front gable house. The Henry Pinckney House is a large 2-story dwelling of a four-square plan. But I want to get to Mr. Pinckney. Henry Pinckney was born in South Carolina and moved to the area when Theodore Roosevelt served as a steward to Roosevelt during his vice presidency, and then during his presidency. Pinckney was known throughout Washington, D.C., especially at Eastern Market, because he frequently made purchases for the president. He also delivered messages for Roosevelt. The Pinckney children played, this is very interesting, the Pinckney children played with Roosevelt children as well. His work under Roosevelt helped him to secure positions with other political figures following Roosevelt's tenure. Henry Pinckney died in 1911, leaving the house to his wife, Lenore, and 3 children, Roswell, Theodore, and Lenore. Emily, and Emily were his children. Pinckney, I already said he worked for the United States Department of Agriculture, and was with, let me see. Henry Pinckney, great granddaughter, Emily McIver, taught English at Fairmount Heights Senior High School. The current owner was one of her pupils, Henry Pinckney grandson, Kevin Clay Pinckney, wrote an extended essay called Henry Pinckney, White House Steward. Material from his work was used for a 2008 exhibition called The Working White House, 2 Centuries of Tradition and Memoirs, held by White House historian officials and the Smithsonian Institute. So that's the story the story of Henry Pinckney. And again, the house is part of the African American Historic Trail. Is located at 608 60th Place. And it's a historic, there is a historic marker there. It's a historic resource built in 1905.
I'd love to know if you guys have had any people come who say that they have connection to some of the people who, like,
Pardon me?
the Pinckneys, or like, have you guys had visitors come to Fairmont Heights, or maybe they haven't stopped to talk to you, but have you come in contact with visitors who've
Repeat your question. I
said,
didn't hear her question.
okay, I'm sorry. I was wondering if you guys have had visitors come to Fairmont Heights who have had connection with some of the historic people. So the Pinckneys, or let's see, the Fonvilles, the Doswell Brooks.
I'm trying to think. I recall a few years ago for Black History Month, our second, I think he was the second, what was he? I'm trying to recall actually. Much of the history of Southern Maryland and Calvert County is deeply embedded in Fairmont Heights, and that's because there was a migration of people leaving the sharecropping in the farm, and they came to the District of Columbia for better employment. And so I remember a few years ago, a gentleman I think his last name is Ball. He came to Fairmont Heights, and it so happened that I was there that day. And he told me that he was the great great grandson of our second mayor. I think his last name was Ball. And so, yes, from time to time, we do have people to come and show up, and they want to reconnect, and they want to be able to know the history of their descendants. They want to know the history of the homes that they grew up in.
I think this is so interesting and such an important part of Prince George's County. And so I was hoping you could just take a few minutes, again, for viewers who haven't necessarily had the chance to have this experience, and just talk from your perspective, like, why is this so important for Prince George's County and people who live here to just get to know Fairmont Heights and get to know the rich, vibrant history and the amazing people who used to live there?
I think it's important for them to know and understand the amazing people who once lived here.
Okay,
Now,
we're gonna get him back. Yeah. So Doris, we're just having a little technological problem. Okay, you're back. We lost you for a second. Go ahead and can you start again with that? Thanks.
okay, I mentioned that it's important that people know the history of the town. So going forward, you would know that the people who live in the town are who lives in Prince George's County, just as amazing. And this brought to my attention my niece, my niece Tara Brown. She lives in Westphalia. I think it's Westphalia, and she is the representative for MasterCard. So whenever MasterCard gives donations, nationally at any event, football games, it is Miss Brown who's there giving that donation. And I just feel so bad. Hello?
Yeah, Doris, I think we're having a little trouble with your internet, maybe. Can you hear me? Okay. We're going to wait. Hopefully we get Doris back. Obviously, we're having a little technical problem. If we're not able to get her back, we will try to reschedule and do this again, or at least try to have a short follow-up conversation with her. Here she comes. Hopefully we can
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. Thank you so much. You were just telling the story about
Can you hear me now?
MasterCard. Yep. Can you hear me?
But now I can't hear me.
Okay, I can
We're
hear.
having all kind of technical difficulties here.
Okay. All right. Can you hear us, Doris?
I'm going to try to come back in. Let me try to come back in.
Okay, that's great.
Can you hear me now? No.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? No. Okay. I'm so sorry. Hopefully you all are hanging in there with us, but also at least being entertained by the fact that technological problems can happen to everybody. So hopefully that makes you feel better for the next meeting that you have. We do. I'm trying to think when I went on this tour, as I said, my colleague and I, Jose, recently went on this tour with Doris, and we were so inspired. Doris, you're back? Okay, Doris, can you hear us now?
No? Can you hear me now?
I can. Can you hear me? Doris, can you hear me? Can you hear me? It doesn't sound like she can hear me.
Can you hear me now? No?
Yes. Can you hear me, Doris?
You hear me, but I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I cannot hear you.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do, Tiana. I'm going to take Doris off the screen. I'm going to phone her. And can you just wrap it up for us? And everybody listening, we're gonna close it out. But I'm going to take Doris off and I'm going to give her a call. Tiana, you're muted.
Yes, sorry about that. Unfortunately, we are out of time this morning. It has been fantastic to highlight one of the amazing places in Prince George's County and celebrate some of its rich civil rights history. Thank you so much to Doris for being here today, despite her technical difficulties. We will try to get her back. And thank you for telling us about Fairmount Heights. I do think everyone should try to get out there and see. If you can't make it, you can try to look at the historical marker database. They have very good pictures online of which you can see on the Fairmount Heights Civil Rights Trail. For those watching, please go visit the town. We have put some links in the chat about Fairmount Heights, and we encourage you to do a driving tour yourself to see some of the fascinating markers, homes, and history. Thank you so much again for joining us.